Every Friday, we check in with Dan Zarlinga, who is with the Missouri Department of Conservation. Dan, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
Missouri has a hunting and fishing app.
We certainly do. Now, of course, we want to encourage people to get outdoors and get off their electronics, but, if you've got your phone anyway, you might as well put it to good use. And, yes, we do have actually two apps. We have a Mo hunting app and a Mo fishing app, and they really enable hunters and fishers to do a lot more out in the field a lot more conveniently, basically.
All right, so what do these apps do for us?
Well, okay, so the Mo hunting app is really nice because you can download it, and it's free, and it allows you to basically get information about all seasons and species right at your phone. And you can also purchase your permits right on your phone as well.
Really?
Yes, you can purchase your permits there, and you can carry them on your phone. Now, of course, the Wildlife Code of Missouri does require hunters and anglers to have their permits with them at all times when they're engaged in their activities. But you can actually do it electronically, too. So you don't have to have the physical paper permit anymore. You can actually have that on your phone and show that to the agent if he checks you, and you're good to go.
Wow. How about that? How much is a hunting license?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on the species. So, that kind of varies depending on what you want, but you can certainly find that out on the hunting app by going to, because it links directly to our site. So you can get species specific, you can get seasons and everything with it.
What about, so if you catch a fish and you don't know what kind of fish it is, you can go on the app and...
Well, that's the Mo Fishing app, yes, and we have that as well, and that's really great tool. And I think in some ways it's even more exciting than the hunting app because, yes, the fishing app contains a fish guide, so you can basically call up any species of fish. You get a picture of it, a description, and a bunch of habitat information about it. So if you catch a fish, you're not sure what it is, you've got the means to identify it right there on your app. Furthermore, it works with your device. So, most devices have GPSs built in. Mm-hmm. So it finds bodies of water near where you're located and tells you what's there, what facilities are there. You can call up a map, and you can even get directions to it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it'll tell you what fish are in the lake?
Well, it'll tell you, when you say you pick a body of water and you go to it, yes, it'll tell you the species that are permitted to fish in that particular lake. It'll tell you things like if you have a boat ramp, restrooms, parking lots, you have an aerial map that you can zoom in on and all that. And for select bodies of water, it also has fish attractor data. And basically what fish attractors are submerged structures that our fisheries biologists put in. A lot of times we put Christmas trees in, used Christmas trees, and that creates habitat for fish, so they tend to congregate around those areas, and those areas are marked, and for select bodies of water, it'll tell you where they are.
So you'll know where the fish are?
Theoretically, yes, and in practice, it does really work. So it's really fantastic app, and again, you can, for the fishing app, you can buy your fishing permits, you can have that right on your phone there.
Well,
So it's basically pretty hard to not catch a fish then.
Well, it makes it a lot easier.
Well, what I was going to say, but people who want to fish, you don't have to know everything there is to know about fishing. You can sort of learn on the app, and they can sort of help you become a fisherman.
Yes, you can. If you're unfamiliar with the species, you can, even if you don't fish, if you just want to learn more about fish,
right?
That alone is like having a bird guide or something like that.
Yeah.
Just like having a fish guide on your phone.
Back to the hunting app for a second. So will that tell me where I can hunt too, just like it does with the fish?
Well, the hunting app doesn't do that quite as much. It does do, because that's a little more complex as far as where you can hunt, but it does have links. You can link to our site, and then that does give you can find a lot more information about hunting there. But the nice thing about the hunting app, too, is in addition to carrying your permit with you electronically, you can also notch your permit. So when you catch or you get your turkey or your deer or whatever it is, you can actually notch it on your phone.
What does that mean? You mean
checking it off, saying that I did harvest this particular animal.
Okay.
And that's what you'll need to do whenever you do harvest an animal. So you can do that on your phone. And if you get somewhere where there's reception, you can actually telecheck your harvest as well, which is also required.
Because once you catch your animal, you have to go and report it to you guys.
Yeah, right, yes. So whenever you harvest a deer or turkey, you have to, first of all, you get a permit. And then when you harvest that animal, you do have to notch it. And this says, yes, I did harvest this animal, and that it's associated with the animal you got. And then you also need to telecheck that, which is essentially telling the system that you got this animal.
Gotcha. Because you guys want to keep track of what's going in, what's going out, and so on and so forth. Right.
So if you got a deer, turkey, or whatever, and you didn't do that, then you would not be in compliance.
Yeah, interesting. All right, so where are we? The hunting season is now long gone, right? We don't have any hunting seasons coming
Well,
up.
actually, we do coming up. Spring turkey is a big season. In fact, 7th and 8th of April, which is next weekend, is the youth season for ages 6 to 15. So the youth season is kind of nice because it gives the younger hunters who have less experience typically a chance to go out and hunt without the competition of the other hunters.
Oh.
And then we have the regular general spring turkey season coming up April 16th through May 8th. And so that's a pretty good big season
So
in
when
this
you
area.
say
You
adults
have a-
can't hunt during youth season?
No, not during youth season. If you're over 15, you can't hunt. But it's
So
just,
there's a kids' swim, in a sense, for
essentially,
turkey
yeah,
hunting.
it is, and it gives the younger hunters and ones starting out just a little bit easier time of hunting, so they're not out with all the
Can
other
they go
adult
with their
hunters.
parents to sort of help them along?
Yes, in fact, that we do want that.
Okay,
For,
gotcha.
go with an experienced
You're not
hunter.
going to send a
adult.
10-year-old out with a rifle looking for turkeys.
Right,
in the
it's a
middle of
mentoring opportunity.
Chesterfield, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, so that's interesting. What about fishing season? When's that?
Well, again, depending on the species, we got our trout park season for trout opened up in March, so we've got that going. Lots of different fish are available to fish right now. We got paddlefish snagging, which is ongoing right now too. So there's, again, what I would encourage people to consult our website or our fishing regulations guide to get that information.
We got a text here. It says, "Ask Dan about Asian carp. I didn't catch any at the Creve Coeur Lake." He wants to know why.
Well, gee, you won't find many in there anymore.
There you go.
So, yeah.
If I were to ask you, where's the best place to go fly fishing in the area, where would you tell me?
In the area, well, you can go to our trout lakes, but that right now that's being phased out. Most of the trout are probably gone because we do have an urban trout program where we stock certain lakes with trout. Yeah. But otherwise, I would say would be our Merrimack Spring Hatchery in St. James. That's about an hour and a half away or so.
Okay.
And Merrimack Spring Park there, it's a beautiful place. It's one of our trout parks. And so we rear trout there and stock them.
Is this dry fly season or is this nymph fishing?
Not sure about that. That's a good question.
That is a good question.
Yeah, I have to ask a more expert fly fisher.
I don't know what I'm asking, but I know
I'm
that
like,
was...
how do you know about
I've caught a trout in the San Juan River in New Mexico when I was
really?
25 years old on a fly that I tied myself.
Awesome.
Really?
Well, that's an art. That is an art in itself.
Yeah, it was really
tying
actually a
flies.
lot of fun. All right, Dan, where do we get the apps? Just the App Store?
Yeah, you can just, first of all, they're available for Android or iPhones. And you just go to like a Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Or you can go to our website, mdc.mo.gov, and that'll get you to them as well. And they're both free apps. And one thing we are looking for, too, is feedback. Both of them have feedback options. So we love to get feedback from users so we can continue to improve and make the apps better.
Dan Zarlinga with the Missouri Department of Conservation. Good stuff. Thanks for coming in.